Hey, we have no time to waste. Come on, let's go. Hey guys, this is my first time doing this, so bear with me. Don't mind the mess. I tried to clean up a little bit. But anyways, I've been working on a game called Sleeping Demons. It's a game that revolves around fighting your sleep paralysis demons and managing your sleep. Your task is to basically figure out how to escape a persistent nightmare. And you do that by exploring a world that blurs the lines between reality and a dream. It's a bit of an ambitious project, but I've been hard at work on it. Don't worry about that. My neighbor does that often. Anyways, let me show you what I've been working on for the past few months. One of the first things I got straight to work on was the new pistol model and FPS arms rig. This included modeling, texturing, rigging and animating, and finally, tying it all together with some programming and animation blending. I ended up redoing the FPS arms because they look pretty bad. So, here's what they look like now. I'd like to redo the pistol textures at some point because I created them before learning about Blender's procedural texturing system. I also started work on a shotgun, but I never got around to finishing it. It's not that important right now, so I'm not too concerned about it. One of my favorite games from last year was Amnesia the Bunker. I believe the game strikes a good balance between sandbox elements, resource management, and intentionally sluggish reload mechanics, all of which come together to create emergent and intense gameplay. For Sleeping Demons, I want to adopt similar mechanics, specifically the reloading system. I've created a rudimentary reloading system that's very similar to Amnesia's mechanics. When holding the load button, the reload state will kick off, allowing the player to reload bullets. Left clicking with the mouse will load one bullet to the magazine. When the player double taps the load button, the player will go into the unloading state. Left clicking will unload a bullet out of the chamber. Letting go of the load button in both instances will put the player back in the normal state. All of these animations are a work in progress and are more or less placeholders to show off the system. I've put a lot of time and effort into building the Sanity system. It's nowhere near finished, but I've programmed out the basic functionality. This system is going to evolve as I build out the game, but here's what I have so far. Your sanity is made up of 3 components: anxiety, sleep, and paranoia. Anxiety can have many triggers, such as a sudden noise, looking at a monster, or drinking too much coffee. Sleep is pretty straightforward. If you're not keeping up with 8 hours of sleep, it's gonna penalize you. And paranoia is where things start to get a little freaky. When paranoia triggers, doors can disappear, rooms can change, phantom monsters can appear, and a myriad of other effects can occur. It will be crucial for the player to keep all 3 components in line, because each component can affect one another. Prolonged anxiety will negatively impact your sleep, and less sleep will raise your baseline anxiety. If paranoia is triggered, then it'll create many scenarios to influence your anxiety. I've been thinking of how I could use this mechanic so that it's more than just a management system. And I think that one thing that could be really cool is if the player had to force themselves to go insane in order to gain access to new levels and content. I have a lot of work before I can even begin to plan something like that out, but it's something I'm going to keep in mind. Unfortunately, I don't have anything to show off other than some calculated numbers, but I'm hoping to have something to show by next devlog. I decided I wanted to move away from the testing area, so I started work on creating the player's safe location. I started out by sketching out the basic layout, and then I got to creating the props and textures. This is about the time where I was introduced to Blender's procedural texture system, and honestly, I'm kinda sad that I didn't learn about this sooner. This led me to experiment with some of the visuals, and I think I'm gonna move away from the low fidelity visuals in favor of the games that came from the early 2000s. I'm taking a lot of inspiration from how Penumbra handles contrasts and shadows, so I'm adopting a similar style. I'll have to experiment more, but I like what I have so far. I also program flickering lights. I created parameters to control how the lights flicker, and I'd love to expand on this in the future. Lastly, I started work on the enemy AI. It's pretty bare bones right now, but it's getting the job done. I ended up creating this weird creature thing as a placeholder for showing off the AI, but I found a better use for it. So, it's been close to a year since I said that I would commit to working on this game. And reflecting back on this time has made me feel like I haven't made much progress. But in reality, that's really not the case. I've spent a lot of time learning how to 3D model, animate, texture, and learn sound design. It takes a long time to get good at these aspects, so it's easy to feel like progress is slow. But progress can stagnate when deadlines aren't set. So I've decided that I'm going to participate in the Steam Next Fest next year. I want to have a playable demo that contains objectives, enemies, polished shooting, and whatever else goes into making a demo. I already gave myself 1 year to lay the groundwork for this game, and I completed a majority of what I envisioned at the time. The Steam Next Fest's registration deadline is about a month and a half before the event starts, but this means that you should have your store page and demo ready. It would probably be wise to give myself 1 to 2 months of time to ensure both are ready before the deadline in case of any issues. Therefore, that gives me until around July 2nd or about 11 months to have everything ready. This means devlogs are going to continue to be slow, but I'm considering posting short form content to keep you all in the know with progress. I'm feeling really motivated to hit this goal, and I can't wait to participate in such a cool event. I also decided to create a Twitter and ArtStation page, so if you want to see posts about progress or showcasing whatever I'm working on, then give those pages a follow. Links are in the description. With that, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one.